I didn't say chozer b'tshuva, I said you do tshuva.
So that means basically whatever sins you did, it's like you didn't do it.
It's not that you didn't do it, but this is there's many levels of tshuva. But I'll give you an example. Let's say I did something today. I now come and I want to recap my day. Okay? So I wake up in the morning, I sit on my bed right before going to sleep, and I say, okay, I woke up. Did I go right away to say the morning prayers? Yes, check. Did I go right away to pray? Yes, check. When I went to pray, a poor person came and told me he wants some charity. I did give him, I didn't give him. I go through my day and I do a recap. But then I go through all the bad things that I did. And then I say, you know what? In the afternoon, I wasn't in a good mood and my wife said something and I snapped at her and I yelled at her. I should apologize. It's not nice. It was me. It was my issue. I can go right on the spot to the other room and tell my wife, before when I screamed at you, I'm sorry. And you don't know what the sorry can do to your spouse. One word, just saying, I'm sorry for yelling at you. My child, I can go through my day. You know what? I was under pressure. My child spilled a cup and the water went over the floor. Some parents, they flip out, screaming. The child goes into distress. The father just needs to walk into the child and tell him, I'm sorry I screamed at you before. I apologize. I had a long day. One second you corrected it. So a person can do tshuva at that time. What did I do all day? Now I'm giving you just examples. It could be maybe I lied today. You know what? Maybe today in the business deal that I did, I wasn't 100% honest. Tomorrow I'm going to call them and tell them, listen, it's not exactly like that.
But is it true when you do din with yourself, אתה עושה דין עם עצמך, אתה בעצם מחפר על העוון הזה, כי אתה עשית...
In some cases. In some cases.
What comes in and then someone kicks in all day, every day, and then in the end of the day,
No, that doesn't work like that. This is what's called Echtav ve'ashuv. It says a person that says Echtav ve'ashuv, that I'll sin and then I'll do tshuva, and maspikim be'adol asot tshuva. He's not going to get assistance to do tshuva. Of course, a person cannot lead his life and saying, I'm going to do whatever I want, and then comes Yom Kippur and I'll be the biggest tzaddik. When I'm saying Kriyat Shema L'Amita, that's an auspicious time to do tshuva, is because you're already closing the day. Like a businessman that's closing the shop. He counts the money. I never heard of any businessman that closed the shop the day and does not count the money and does a cheshbon. What did I make? What did I... Right. You do a cheshbon nefesh that night. And if a person does cheshbon nefesh every night, kol chayecha yu b'tshuva. Your whole life will be in tshuva, and you can correct the bad thing that you did the next day. And I always give the same example. You weren't here in the previous classes, but not too long ago, I come home, my wife tells me I didn't have cash to pay the cleaning lady. I borrowed money from our neighbor. So I tell her, go right now and give the neighbor back the money. She tells me, well, it's 9 o'clock at night. I'll give tomorrow. What's the big deal? $20. I told her, you know what's the big deal? Tomorrow you're going to forget. You're going to be busy. You have 6 kids, you're going to be busy, you're going to forget. And then the next day, you're going to forget again, and the next day, you're going to forget again. It's only $20. What's $20 between friends? And 2 weeks will pass, and you're going to forget. And you know what's going to happen? She's going to be upset. Why she's not giving me the $20? It's not the money, it's the fact. I helped her. Why is she not giving me? And every time you're going to go out to the hallway, she's going to look at you like this. And you know what's going to happen? She's holding grudge. Why would you want it? Go right now, give the money, finish with it. Why do you need this headache on you? We're human. Tomorrow you're going to forget. So the whole point of doing tshuva at night is that you don't forget. I go to sleep. You know what I do? I email myself a list of what I need to do the next day. Because all the lists that you have, all the apps with lists, they don't work. I email myself, and when I wake up in the morning, I see an email in my inbox. And I know what I need to do the next day that I had to fix from the previous day. Say sorry here. Say sorry there, give back money here, pay this guy, order this. Now the thing is that we are human. Things come out of our mouth, a curse, a yell, a lie, a reaction. We're not perfect. But you know when you become perfect? When you understand what you did and you correct it. And if you let the days pass, you're not going to remember. That's human nature. People tell me, I'm going to come to Yom Kippur and do tshuva. How can you remember on Yom Kippur what you did 10 months ago? You can't. You remember a big sin, but you're not going to remember every little thing. How can you do tshuva? This is not tshuva. You cannot do tshuva on something you don't know that you did. And you cannot do tshuva on something you don't remember. And somebody came to me when I started doing tshuva. Don't be sorry. There's nothing to be sorry about. Somebody came to me when I did tshuva and he told me, you owe me money from 20 years ago. I'm sorry, I don't know. I didn't remember. How much do I owe you? Tell me. Let's finish it. Do you think I remember what I did 15 years ago? That's why about tshuva is not an easy thing, because you have to start digging in your past. But if you're smart and you live your life in tshuva, then every time you say Kriyat Shema al Amita, you clean all these klipot. When I lie, if I go through a day and I said 5 lies, then every time I say a lie, I put on myself a klipa right away. I create a klipa, a negative entity that covers my soul right away. Second thing I do, I bring this din, what I said before, this judgment on me. I'm suffocating an organ. From something simple, lying, just telling a person, why were you late? Don't ask, there was traffic. There wasn't traffic, you just woke up late. You're allowed to lie if it's to save a person, latzil nefesh. There's certain times you're allowed to lie. But I'll tell you this, that when one time, I said it in the last class, but a lot of you were not here. One time I came back from Yom Kippur, and came the Motzei Chag, and I come home from shul, and I sit with my wife. How was your day? How was your day? No, what achlatot you made for this year? How do they call it in English? Not decisions. How do they? No, avanot. When you take on yourself a good decision, they call it, I don't know, resolution. So, New Year's resolution. So I tell my wife, what's your resolution? So she tells me it's hide resolution. So anyways, I told her, she tells me, and I tell her, she tells me, what did you decide this year to refine yourself? And I tell her, I decided to stop lying. She tells me, you lie? You don't lie. I told her, oh yes, I do. You know what? Because every time you don't say the truth is a lie. And if I'm late to a meeting, and somebody tells me, why were you late? I told you to come at 8:30. If I tell them, Nas, there was a car accident on the 405, I was stuck there, don't say you woke up late. That's a lie. So we lie all the time, and you know who you lie to the most? Yourself. So I told my wife, that's it. I'm starting to not lie. One time when I went to a certain yeshiva and I overheard a conversation, and this one guy came to the Rav and he told him, how many fasts do I need to do for this and how many fasts I need to do for that, and he was asking how many times he needs to fast to rectify certain things that he did. I overheard that rabbi telling him, don't lie for a whole week. That's like 1,000 fasts. You don't need to fast. Just don't lie for a whole week. Let's see you not lying for a whole week. People don't understand how bad lying is. I'm not talking about severe lying. I'm talking about if you make an account a whole day, how you conduct your day, every person will see that they lie a couple times a day, and most of us lie a lot, and a lot of the times it's big lies. So if a person works on himself not to lie, that's a very high level of serving Hashem. But when I lie during the day, sometimes you said, I didn't have the option. I had to lie. So at least when you do Kriyat Shema al Amita, you go through your day and you say, where can I fix it? Many years ago when I was in business, it's very hard to not lie in business because you need to make a sale. And I would do Kriyat Shema al Amita and I would be like, you know what? No. If I want bracha in this deal, I'm going to call tomorrow and tell the customer, listen, I wasn't 100% accurate. It's like this and like that. But at least I did tshuva. So you can do many things throughout the day, but if you acknowledge it, you did 80% of your tshuva. And if you did tshuva before you go to sleep, first of all, I always say the same thing. Maybe I'm closing my eyes tonight and that's it. Maybe I'm not waking up.
Well, when
forget about me. Forget about me. Even me. I say, I don't
Why do
know.
you continue if
Maybe-
you know when? I don't get that whole. He knows his whole life.
First of all,
But he's not talking about himself.
first of all,
It's weird. I don't get it.
okay. First of all, even me,
Why?
I don't know what
You
Hashem
know,
wants.
you don't need to say it until 10 years later or something.
No. The thing is that you can't count on yourself. You can't hold yourself in a high level. Any person that holds himself on a high level will eventually fall. Any person that counts on his tzadikut, his righteousness, will end up falling. A person the Mishnah teaches us, "V'yeh be'enecha kerasha." Always think yourself as a rasha, right? Because if I'm going to think that I'm so good, then I'm going to start being, I'm so good, so I don't need to do this, and I don't need to do that, and I'm so good, and Hashem loves me. The Mishnah teaches us, no, you hold yourself as a wicked person, that you constantly have to look at yourself, maybe I did something wrong, because we're not perfect.
We could be too hard on ourselves.
That's not so good. You have to have a good balance. That's why the same Mishnah also teaches
You
us,
have to be a balance in everything. That's
yeah, you have to have a healthy balance. But the reality is that the person goes to sleep, including me, has to say, maybe I'm not opening my eyes tomorrow. How am I coming up to the heavenly court? So at least let me come up with tshuva.
So what happens when you נגיד אם לא ישנים טוב בלילה או לא ישנים?
Then what happens is that the soul goes up and it doesn't get recharged. It doesn't get to the right place, and the soul starts wandering in the heavens, and all sorts of malachei Kabbalah that were created by our sins are stopping the neshama from going up. That's why a person wakes up in the middle of the night. That's why a person wakes up from nightmares. That's why a person wakes up early in the morning and then can fall asleep. And then all these things is from one thing. That's why a person can sleep pitom for 12 hours and wake up totally exhausted. And that's why a person can sleep sometimes for 2 hours and wake up, well, I had a beautiful night.
Wait, what about Hamalach HaGoel? When I read Kriyat Shema, some of them have that, some of them don't. And when I don't read it, and when I do read it, I see a difference. What's the whole thing with
So
Hamalach HaGoel?
you have to go by the nosach that is shayach to you.
Sephardi.
So if you are Sephardi, you have to keep your nosach. You cannot change it. You cannot do one day this siddur, one day that siddur. You have to know exactly who you are, where you came from, what's the nosach that you go by. And this nosach, I don't know how to translate it in English. Nosach is the type of the siddur. There's many different types. There's Sephardi. In Sephardi, what do you mean? It's I know even siddurim that are Ashkenaz that they say
Can
that.
I include that in my Sephardi?
No, you can't start adding things.
Oh, no?
No. If you go by a certain nosach, then you stick with it. You cannot start adding things.
אני לא קוראת את זה במסדר, אני קוראת את זה
Me'alon kaze? Doesn't matter. As long as this
אני לא
is.
יודעת איזה נוסח זה, I don't know.
So you have to find out.
I can show you.
You have to find out. And the thing is that the nosach, the type of the siddur that you read, is nogea lenefesh. It's custom made for your neshama. And if you're praying from the wrong siddur, it's not good because your tefillot go through. The Arizal explains there are 13 gates in Shamayim where all the tefillot go from. And if you pray from the wrong channel, your tefillot, they get stuck.
All these technicalities, it's making it so...
Why?
אתה נמצא בארץ או פה?
אני בעזרת השם עוד כמה שבועות עולה לארץ.
זאת אומרת, עד עכשיו גרת פה?
For the last 17 years I lived in New York. I came here 5 months ago. We were supposed to be here only for 6 weeks. We were supposed to do Aliyah. We were supposed to come only for 6 weeks for a bunch of lectures. And my wife didn't get her papers. By the time she got her papers, she was already in her 8th month. So we couldn't leave. So we found a place. That was the Ratzon of Hashem. And in the last 5 months, every night, Baruch Hashem, it's a big city and there's many work to do. So every night I had a lecture in a different place and classes and a lot of classes during the day. And now, Baruch Hashem, my wife had the baby, and in a month exactly we're going to go to Miami for 2 weeks of tour of lectures. Not only Miami, like the South Florida, then New York for 2 weeks for another tour, and then Eretz Israel. So,
אז אתה ב-LA לעוד
1 month.
לעוד חודש.
I'm here from the middle of January, and I'm going to be here till the middle of July. That's what Hashem wants. And again, you know how it came. Can you imagine? All our stuff is sitting in a storage. We came here with suitcases to do the sivuv of a few lectures. Pitom, our whole life changed. We had to get a place, have to buy a car, and everything. When we came here, there was a couple organizations that sponsored us to come. Suddenly, no more sponsorship. I had to find schools for my kids, a house, car, everything. So one can say, "Oh, where's the tzara? Why are you doing it to me? My wife pregnant, her insurance is in New York, her doctor's in New York." But it was like, okay, that's what Hashem wants. Hashem wants us right now in Los Angeles. So in Los Angeles, I can cry and whine, or I can be like, okay, I'm here. Let's do the best out of the situation. And that's where Hashem wanted me in this time. And that's it. And obviously I had to go and touch a few souls. And that's it. The thing is that she ordered. And every week we do the same thing. And I promise Esther we're going to finish early. So maybe we can do it, if you don't mind, outside.
Oh, yeah.
But to sum up the Kriyat Shema al Hamita, I always tell it to everybody. If you have to start somewhere, then start with Kriyat Shema al Hamita and do it with all your heart. Because if people come and tell me, okay, give me the basics. What should I do? So Shabbat is a big thing. And Kashrut is also a big thing. And this is a big thing. Everybody has something that is big for them. Some people it's not big. Some people say, Shabbat, I love Shabbat. Some people tell me Kashrut, it's the easiest thing. But the basic of all basics, everybody has to pray. And the most important prayer of the day, I see it, is Kriyat Shema al Hamita. See how you finish your day. It's how you prepare the next day. It's the time when you leave this world to the spiritual world. At night, your neshama goes up to Olamot Elyonim. Some people, when they channel themselves the right way, and the whole day is good deeds and Torah and mitzvot, and at night, the neshama gets giluim. Doesn't matter. But you know what happens when they come back? Matzav ruach. A lot of energy, a lot of hope, a lot of koach. They're not depressed, they're not weak, they're not this. They don't need to remember. The neshama. If they remember, Adrabah, why not? When I go up at night sometimes, I have dreams, I come back with information.
Kabbalah says if you don't want to have dreams, don't put your shoes next to you.
Yeah.
Where the feet are, so that the shoes would be so you won't have to.
But at night, you have to understand that the night is such a powerful spiritual experience. You have a near-death experience every night. Every night you have a near-death experience.
What does it mean when people don't wake up from one sleep?
Then it means that they were in a very high level, that the soul had to die, what's called beneshika. They went to sleep and that's it.
That means that they're on a high level?
Yeah, the Neshama was a pretty high level, that they didn't have to go through any weird death. It's a high level, but very few people get it. But in the reality, at night when you go to sleep, you just think you're sleeping. No, your neshama goes up to Shamayim and it climbs all the levels and it gets cleaned. And if you did Shuvah and Kriyat Shema al Hamita, then milemala they clean you and you come back in the morning, clean soul. Taher libeinu. If you just look, you read, obviously you speak Hebrew, read the text of Kriyat Shema al Hamita, you're like, okay, I got the point. I'm putting myself into at the end of the day, you go take a shower. Why? Because you sweat. It's a hot day. Why do you take a shower? You want to clean yourself. You want to go into the bed clean. And after a 10-minute shower revives you. You're like a new person. 1,000 times more is when you take a good night's sleep. So if you prepare your sleep the right way, the body is protected, the soul is protected, the soul goes up to the right place, it gets recharged. When it comes back, it has powers to deal with the world. It doesn't remember what was revealed to it, but you wake up in the morning with good energy. If they remember, then Adrabah. But you know how you know another reason where your soul was in Shamayim? If you wake up with a good mood. If you wake up with a good mood, you know your soul was in a good place in Shamayim. How many times you woke up in the morning like heavy like a rock? And how many times you woke up in the morning in a good mood? You were singing, dancing, singing in the shower. If you wake up in a good mood, must be that at night your neshama went to a good place. It was cleaned, it was recharged, it saw things, it got some giluim. So the Kriyat Shema al Hamita is a very very important prayer, go to my website. There's a whole 2-hour class about Kriyat Shema Lamita. I'm just touching a few points on it. No, in the 2-hour class, but it at least it gives you the perspective of how important is to seal your day with the right connection. So if you have to take something out of this class, is to say Kriyat Shema Lamita, and it's not the easy thing. I confess. Sometimes I come home at 3 o'clock in the morning from a lecture. It's hard to say Kriyat Shema Lamita.
After a certain hour, after 12 o'clock.
Kriyat Shema Lamita, you can say even Kriyat Shema Lamita, the Arik Zal calls it a tikkun. When I first became religious, and sometimes I would miss Kriyat Shema Lamita, my rabbi told me, Tagid Kriyat Shema baboker afilu, it's a tikkun. There's no brachot, you don't say a bracha.
It's all that.
Yeah.
It doesn't take 15 minutes.
Well, if you know how to read it.
If you read, some people it takes them a long time. If you read the whole thing, I think it could take a good 10 minutes. If you zoom through it, then you may be missing some words. You kind of want to understand what you're reading. Because when you understand what you're reading, then you actually internalize it.
And if you don't understand but you're reading it,
Then better to understand. So if you don't understand, then you start by only saying Kriyat Shema in Hebrew, and the rest you do in English. And you want to make it your business to understand. So every day you learn one verse to understand, and then you read it in Hebrew. Better to read it in Hebrew, because you're actually moving your lips, you create things with the letters in Hebrew. So you want to know the Pirush HaMilot, you want to understand what you're saying. And the same way that if now I would offer you a job that you get $1 million, but you have to go through a 3-month course to learn the product, you would do it. So same thing here, you want to be in Hashem's army, you do a course, you learn the basics. So it's an important thing, and from 24 hours a day, so you 15 minutes less on Facebook or whatever, and you do something good for you. And the thing is that this is what I tell people who are not necessarily religious or keep Torah and mitzvot, but I tell them, you want to be smart, don't be fanatic, don't grow 2 meter a beard, and don't be fanatic. You don't have to be fanatic, but be smart. So if you want to lead a good, healthy life, then take this 10 minutes a day. I guarantee you, your mind will be sharp. Your mind will be focused. You're not going
It's
to...
good that you're telling me that, because I would say Shema, but I never went through the whole thing. But now I'm going to...
Yeah. What it does, it keeps your mind and your spirit and your nefesh clean. So that's why I said before, I believe all the problems of depression and anxieties and all these things, just because of that. It comes from a spiritual place. 1 out of 1,000,000 will be depressed because the girlfriend dumped him. Oh, yeah. Okay. But depression that people get is not normal. How much people are here on all sorts of pills and depression pills. That's not a normal thing. Because this is the problem, what I said before, with medicine in our generation. They don't give a cure, they numb it. They shut you down. But the reality is that why do people in our generation get so mentally sick? Because the amount of impurity in the world affects the people. It hits the mind. The impurity, the tuma, hits mainly the mind, the sechel, the nefesh, the sechel, the spiritual things. That's why, if you look in history books, I can assure you that 100 years ago, people were not depressed. They're strong people. They dealt with problems. They didn't whine over every little thing.
They were in nature. There was no...
Yeah, they were strong, healthy people.
Well, when everyone is spoon-fed and baby, everything is automatic. It's just
Yeah.
automatic.
Yeah.
Not like 10 years ago when you had to die.
Exactly.
So it's a instant generation.
Yeah.
Everything is instant.
That's not a good thing.
No, it's not. But it's.
If you
but
take
that's not, but that's not. That's like more a generational thing. So how can we say people are different?
Because.
People get frustrated. They don't get things instantly because they're used to getting things instantly.
But the thing is like this.
Spiritual.
Anything in the modern world can be used for a good thing and for a bad thing. If you take all the modern things and you use it for a positive thing, then it doesn't affect you in a negative way. If you use it for a negative thing, then it will affect you in a negative way. And that's what's happening in our generation. Take the internet. The internet is a wonderful tool. It's unbelievable tool. It can be used to a positive thing. I take now this video, I put it on YouTube, 10,000 people see this class. Internet, unbelievable. People in Australia, South America, they see my class. I use the tool to a positive thing. I can take this tool and totally use it to destroy the world. Same thing with the phone, same thing with anything. So this generation, they merited to get technology, but how do you use it? Do you use it for good or you use it for bad? We have such technology in medicine, how come more people get more sick and more sick and more sick? Yeah, of course. Of course it's a conspiracy, because the pharmaceutical companies and all the government, everything is corrupt.
They want people to be sick.
Exactly.
Of course, we know that.
So you can take the technology that we have and cure people, but unfortunately people take the technology that we have to kill people.
There's
So-
a cure for everything. They just don't release it
Yeah.
to the market because they want to.
There's not a cure for everything.
For almost everything there's a cure.
Almost everything.
See, he like a pill cure.
Pill is not a cure for anything.
Not a pill.
Pills are not cure for anything. I'm going to tell you something completely off the subject, but my wife is like a health guru. Okay? Now she has a best friend that she's a health guru in a different department. There's a certain clinic that they cure people from cancer. Pure, it's 100%. They cure them. This clinic is illegal in America. Their clinic is in Mexico.
Oh, I heard about this.
The Gerson Clinic.
Yeah, they don't.
They cure people from cancer. This is illegal in this country. They shut them down. They don't. They.
Went to Mexico. They had cure for cancer years ago.
Now, why is it illegal? Because the government doesn't want to cure people.
But if it really did cure cancer, don't you think more people would know about it? How could they hide
No,
it?
because
No.
people are brainwashed by everything here.
Marketing,
First of all, to start with, cancer can be prevented. 90% of cancer cases can be prevented by not doing certain things. Don't eat all the food coloring. Don't eat processed food. Don't eat from a microwave. Don't sleep with your phone like this. People can prevent that by just not doing certain things. I see people, they put their cell phone on them. They sleep with the cell phone. This is this is radioactive.
I can't sleep with an iPhone?
No.
No, technically not.
There's
I
radiation.
use it for my Kriyat Shema. I use it all
No,
the time.
so read it and then put it away, or put it on airplane mode, or put it on airplane mode,
Airplane mode.
because then there's no receiver here.
Oh, I didn't know. Okay, airplane.
But this is proven fact that cell phone, they have radiation. Microwaves put radiation in your food. Look at
Can you
90%.
microwave water?
Why would you do that?
Because I want to boil it fast.
So boil it. Don't boil it on the fire.
One of the worst.
I love
Microwave is the biggest killer ever. Now the thing is,
First of all, with meat and dairy, how can you
Horrid. Water.
why would you want to warm water in a microwave?
I eat the best.
So wait, no.
You're
No.
healthy.
That's the worst.
That's the first thing I got rid of when I became religious.
I never had microwave.
And if you would go now to any department store, like a shopping center for food, 99% of the food is poison. 99%. Everything is food coloring. Go to a supermarket. If you look at it in a normal way, food coloring is the number one cancerous thing. Why would you give your kid all these lollies that are food coloring? Why would you take it?
Tastes good. That's
But
why
so
I
what?
take it.
Yeah, that's the klipa. This is the instant gratification. Look at all the MSG. All the food that tastes good is all full of MSG and GMO and all those things. Why would you do
Bigger
it?
problems than this.
No, but you can prevent 90% of diseases by what you eat. Now, farther than that, the ones that are already getting sick, what's the sickness really? The organ is not getting the right flow of blood and life to it. So in the physical realm, you say the organ is not getting enough blood to it. In the spiritual realm, that's what I was saying. This is the lack of light into it. So if you look at the problem, you know how to cure it. Just modern. I'm not talking about operations. Operations, they work. This is the good part how they use medicine in our generation. They're able to do a heart transplant. They're able to do all sorts of operations. Although half the operations, somebody has a little pain in his side, right away they take out the intestines. No, not the intestines, the appendicit. Why would you take it out? So a lot of the operations are actually good. But most of the medicine, if you really look into it, it's not a cure. Why do people take Tylenol when they have a headache? It's not a cure. It's you have some type of waste in your body, and your body is fighting this waste, and it wants to eject the waste.
It's also a psychological game, because people, once they take that pill, 50% psychologically, they say, oh, I took the pill, I feel
No,
better."
it works.
No, I'll tell you why it works.
Ibuprofen works.
No, 50% it
I'll
works.
tell you why it
150
works.
is you're psychologically saying, oh, I
I've
took the pill, I'm
seen
going to
it.
feel
But you know why it works? Because all these pills, all these pills, what they do is they attack the nerve system and they numb the nerves, so you don't feel the pain.
I read on an experiment of people when they give them sugar pills, and the same another group control, they gave them regular pills, and the one that got the sugar pills had the same effect, because psychologically they thought they're getting the medicine.
They don't use the medicine. It's
Yeah.
The point is that it's 50% psychologically, 50% physically.
The bottom line is when I have a headache, I drink a lot of water. That's it. I don't go to find
Clear
a...
your mind from whatever
The thing is that the body is a sophisticated machine, and if something hurts me, it's my body telling me. First of all, it means that my body...
instant gratification kind of world.
So it's you
I have
gotta...
a headache. Boom, ibuprofen.
So you gotta know when to use
Yeah, I saw.
the instant and when not to use it. And when you do it to a positive angle,
How do you use
the-
it for a positive angle?
when you want instant gratification, I need to email right now something important, then I use technology for something positive. But I can use it for something very negative.
Oh yeah. Like
So
I use-
anything you can use for something good and something bad. It's very, very simple. And I'm looking at things in technology. When Mashiach is going to come, what we have now is nothing compared to the technology we're going to have when Mashiach is going to come.
What do you mean technology? Like actual?
Actual technology. Now, if you look
You
now...
met Mashiach.
I didn't meet Mashiach. If you look now 5 years back, no GPS, no smartphone, no Skype, no nothing.
And we managed.
Forget about manage. I'm just saying the jump we had.
I'm not from this generation.
Look at the jump we had from 5 years ago to now. So when Mashiach will come, the technology is going to be not normal. Not normal. If you would tell anyone 15 years ago is 2000. You're going to be able to...
text Rabbi. I could barely text.
She hates
Are you
texting.
serious? I hate.
She hates
I'm very
texting.
behind. I wish you could go back to where we dial the phone like this. Okay.
Yeah.
I am very behind. You don't know how behind I am.
People get upset at me when they call me and I don't answer right away. Why didn't you call? Why didn't you answer? I sent you an email yesterday. Yesterday? So what?
Because we're so used to the
But it's-
instinct.
So you have to be very smart and know when to take the technology and this instant gratification to direct it to a positive channel.
Makes us so unsexual.
But
Or
you know
when
how
to stop.
abnormal I am to my friends. Do you know how weird I am?
You don't have to worry about that. You don't have to worry about your friends.
Like their technologies and their apps, they're this and this is how behind I am. I had a Rebbitzin. She was like, we're doing Tehillim. I'm so old school. I'm like, okay, let me pull out my Tehillim book. She's like, new? I'm like, oh, I forgot to bring my Tehillim book. I forgot. I'll still She's like, so get your phone out. I'm like, I don't have my phone. She's like, just download the app. I'm like, I wasn't, this is a year ago. I wasn't even that technology advanced to download apps. So I'm like, okay, for Tehillim and stuff, I'll learn to download apps. But I'm so behind.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for coming. תודה רבה. בעזרת השם, שבוע הבא ושבוע אחרי. And if you want, there's other שיעורים.
So there will be more technology.
What we have now is nothing compared to what the technology we're going to have when Mashiach
They
will
already
come.
have some of them, but it's not a...
You know, many years ago there was a movie Back to the Future. You saw the movie with Michael J. Fox?
That was years ago.
Now the thing is that I think a year or two ago, they made a joke out of it because in this movie they showed how it's going to look in 2013. And they compared what they showed in the movie and what we have now. And we have now more when they were showing the movie.
Yeah.
So the technology, when Mashiach will come, the technology is going to be not normal.
Torah says the internet is in the Gemara too. It's called Akavish.
Yeah.
Website.
Yeah.
Web Akavish.
Yeah. The thing is that it says, the Arizal says, that till the 19th century, Ma'ayanot HaChochma, the wellsprings of knowledge, will be closed. And right in the 19th century, Ma'ayanot HaChochma yipatchu. And that's when the industrial revelation happened. And within 150 years, we jumped from riding a donkey to jets and satellites and everything. That's for sure. But the technology is already, you know that the kiseh, the chair that Shlomo Melech had, it says that it was all electronic. You know? Yeah. And there's even a story that I don't remember exactly who it was, and I heard it from it's a known story. I don't remember if it was Rashi's grandson or Rashi's son. There's a story that he had light bulbs. And the goyim used to go in and they couldn't figure out the witchcraft that he's doing. Because in those days there was witchcraft. And only 1,000 years later, Edison came and made the electricity light bulb. But at that time, he already figured out how to bring electricity out to the surface. Yeah? לא, או הבן של רש"י או הנכד של רש"י. לא את רבנו תם. רש"י had a few grandkids that were very big גדולים. One of them is Rabbeinu Tam. So one of them was known to be a Gaon, and he had light bulbs. He would study at night and he had a light bulb. And when they used to go in, they didn't know how he did it. So everything was already in Sheshet Yemei Bereshit. So Adam HaRishon maybe didn't have an iPhone. He had more advanced technology than that. The technology was not invented now. Yeah, it was just revealed now. It was just revealed in our generation. So when Mashiach will come, then the technology is not going to be normal. We call it technology. The Lashon of Kabbalah is Gilui Elokut. You know, we see it as technology. It's going to be Gilui Elokut. And then, now you need to Skype with somebody on the other side of the world. In the time of Mashiach, I don't know exactly how it's going to be. Probably we'll, I don't know.
What's Skype? Wait, what?
Now you have to Skype with somebody on the other side of the world. When Mashiach will come, Skype is going to look like a joke to us. It's probably going to be something else.
We will be able to converse through the internet live.
Yeah.
Wait, that's Skype, no? It's
No,
I've never seen Skype. Okay, think about it. It's like an hologram. Yeah, it's like a hologram of like 3D.
Yeah.
I don't even know how to Skype. Okay? You don't understand how behind I am. Like this is.
But you know,
You'll catch up.
but the reality is that we are as Jews, we have the power to take technology and use it for Avodat Hashem, for Kedusha, and we have the power to take technology and destroy the world. Okay? So that's our power, and that's our decision.
Wait, okay,